heart of gold, but ready to fight. Standing tall, doing what's right. Shining truth like a firelight. Daddy's wisdom running deep taught me promises I gotta keep. Breaking chains, leaving pain behind. Calling out the crooked kind. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again. Ain't no fear when I'm around. Justice stands on solid ground. One last chance to make it right, or face the reckoning tonight. In the dark where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again. In the dark, where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again.
Warning: the following video contains strong language, which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you for your attention. And Angela, good afternoon, good evening to you all. And Snowflower, you just relax and chill out. You don't have to worry about it. My condolences again to you. And hello, everybody. Hi, Steve, Robert, Texas Alien, Cynthia, Sienna, and everyone else. And Faith says it all. Who else we got? We got Daniel in here today as well. And yes, oh my God, what a day. What a freaking day. And today's just going to be a general chit chat because I've, you know, like everyone else, I have my own input and my own opinion. But you know what they say, don't you? There's always someone who will complain, whine and whinge and, you know, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about because he's not from the States. Well, no, I'm not. Maybe that's a good thing. Who knows? Maybe it's a bad thing. Who cares? But the fact of the matter is that there's been a lot of discrepancies. And one thing I do like, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks, Wookiees, members of the jury, is the fact that Randy Socket has until the 14th of July to deny the bankruptcy claim. And as we already spoke about that, like my pretty and myself the other day, we discussed that in detail, with the names, discrepancies, and everything else. Don't you find it very weird that there's so many people are trying to be online lawyers? I find that very, I mean, I'm not trying. I haven't got, to be honest with you, I'm getting so confused with what's going on now that, like today in a certain chat, I turned around and I said, people just need to, stop flapping their gums and paying more attention, because you got people who try to make out that they're trolls, and there are some trolls. I mean, we all know who they are, but they're really shit at it, to be honest with you. And the thing is, and then also, making false accusations of God knows what else, and then saying, American rock and roll, it needs to stop, because you're losing the point of the narrative that you're trying to make, and two, you have to remember is that anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. That's the reason why it's part and parcel of your Miranda rights. People forget about that. But it's it's what's good for the goose is not good for the gander, is it? Or one rule for you and one rule and a different rule for everyone else. As soon as you start to bring in facts and evidence into it, what happens? People start arguing. They start calling you and labeling you and everything else. Now, what I have noticed is, has anyone noticed the sudden lack of appearance of Bruce Matskin on the Crampon stream, right? Or the fact that you've got a female former retired individual who injected them. Hi, David. How you doing, fella? Injected themselves. No, not yet. I haven't, not yet, David. But injected herself into all this. Plays the victim, but it's okay to continuously harass, and basically name and dox people. I mean, that's one thing I've noticed with people with certain issues, and what I find quite strange is that when you predict someone, not predict, project someone, right, as someone from 1942 or 1940s, a certain German individual, that's not satire. You're basically making a statement by the picture. Now, if you'd have taken the moustache off, that'd have been a different ballgame, right? And if you'd have put a lollipop or a cigar or something else, that's different. That's satire. But when you make someone to look like someone like that, that's not satire. Yeah. And also, yeah. But anyway, and the other things is like suing everybody, but there's enough evidence, not just by all the YouTube and Facebook accounts that have been deleted and been made and God knows what else, and it's visually, factually viewable. Here's the thing: all it takes is a legal representative, a member of the law enforcement, or someone to see that and go, "Oh wait, I heard children in the background. Welfare check." Because the behavior is not a behavior of a normal functioning individual. Yeah. So, but then again, like I said, I'm a counselor and I'm not a psychologist, so I can't talk, and I'm definitely not going to label someone with these typical stereotypical labels. I'm not, but the behavior speaks for itself. Now, people may agree with me, people may disagree with me, but that's not just from one person. Here's the thing. Rumor control says Well, this is just a rumor, so don't take this as gospel. There's a rumor or hearsay, so I usually don't try to avoid that crap. But apparently, someone owes over $600,000 after they spent 2 years in a federal prison. Hi, Heidi, and Sweetfly, hi, and Barbara, hi. And they still owe restitution, whatever it's called. And then they want to sue. Interesting. Now, what I find quite strange is that with speaking with Mind Pretty or with Squid and other people, okay, now I'm not going to insult anyone's intelligence here. But what I am going to do, I'm going to point out some discrepancies. This whole case, okay, it went out of control quite a while back. But the fact that when you've got someone who uses multiple names suddenly do a bankruptcy, okay, and from excuse me a second, and from past history, the way Lynette types, the way she posts, and everything else. Do you seriously right? I'm going to put it to this. I'm going to put it to the floor. I'm going to give it to the community here. I'm going to give it to you guys to answer this, because at the end of the day, you guys do have some opinions that I've seen in the past. So it's only rightly so that I pulled you into this and put you on a spot. Right? That's the way we work. Now, we're not going to speculate. We're not going to allege. We're not going to assume. Okay, but with everything that's been written and everything that's been done by Lynette Preston and John Cook, okay, this bankruptcy. Explain to me how the hell John Cook got involved in this bankruptcy when it's only specifically for Lynette Preston. That's one. Two, okay, who here believes that Lynette instigated that bankruptcy and filled it out on her own? Who here, if you believe that she did that all on her own, press 1. If you don't, press 2. Or yes for the yes, or no for no. Let's have a little bit of a survey, shall we? Let's see what you guys say. And if you say that she's done it on her own, can you prove it? Can you tell? I mean, I'm not saying that she's absolutely an imbecile and doesn't know how to spell her own name. Well, names. Well, yeah. I mean, she could start her own library if she wanted to. But anyway, that's beside the point. The fact of the matter is, right, with all these motions that are now coming out, have you noticed? Right? I mean, considering that Bruce is no longer the legal representative of them. Furthermore, will there be a RICO investigation in regards of all the funds and the money? And do you know what? I'm glad that Randy is now put in. It's the first. I mean, I'm quite happy that now after all this time, they've actually put in the discrepancies about the donations and everything in the filing in the docket. When I read that, I was absolutely happy. I was really happy. No, Cynthia, I don't think the fleas helped her. I don't think the fleas helped her. This is how I see how this worked, how this happened, is that Bruce and the other guys discussed it and they thought, what's the best way to slow this down or stop her or whatever to protect, and they went bankruptcy. Now, here's one thing you have to remember. First of all, right, we know for a fact that it was them who got her to fill it out and everything else, and it's common sense. It's she wouldn't have been able to think about this, because here's the thing: if she would have thought about this herself, this would have happened last year. She would have put in the moment she would have went to court, and with Silverman, all right, she would have put in for bankruptcy, and then this whole case would have went a different direction. This whole thing would have went in a complete different direction, but it didn't, did it? Now, like I said, this is my personal opinion. I know for a fact that fucking Mr. Magoo and you guys and fucking Keel Notes were involved in it. Now, when it comes to Lips or Leslie or whatever that person wants to call herself, excuse me, right? She's really bad at trying to play the victim. She's really bad at it. She's really bad. Taking an old video from 2023 and then trying to sell it off like it's brand spanking new, and then even having a dig at our own family members is just despicable to say the least. And we all have our rights to say what we like, but I'm not going to be stereotypical like some people on this platform. But one thing I can say: the sooner that person or these people have their accounts removed from them, the saner it will become. That's because I've been watching from a sideline for the last couple of weeks, and I've sort of kept my opinions and certain things to myself. But this is absolutely insanity. This is insanity. Why wait until now, after the fact, to claim bankruptcy? You've got nothing to claim bankruptcy on. We all know that this bankruptcy thing is just a delay tactic. It's a ploy. You've got nothing of value. The only thing that you've got of value is is your property. The car is still being paid off. You say that you've got all the materials and everything else, right? But the crampons are in control of the money. Where is all the money? Irregardless of if it's 56,000, 70,000, 100,000, 10,000, 1 million, whatever. The fact of the matter is, where is this money? If the feds are going to investigate anything, they need to start investigating the crampons, where all the money went. Because I tell you one thing, when Lisa says, "Oh, that money was for me," no, it wasn't. That money wasn't for you. Now, the super chats or the memberships and stuff like that, and the money you get off YouTube, right, after they take their 30%, that's different. But if Cynthia or Aussie Jen send me a super chat and say, "This is for donation, this is for you to get, get yourself a vape pen or get yourself a whoopee cushion or whatever," right? And I'm donating this money for you to get the whoopee cushion, then that's a donation. And also, you see, this is where you walked into a problem. Okay, when you ask people to send donations to your PayPal or Cash App, that's circumventing taxes. You're circumventing the guidelines, especially on YouTube. So when someone sends you PayPal money and for donations and everything else, yeah, that can come back to bite you in the ass. That can come that can come back to bite you on the ass. But that's not up to me. That's up to the Floridian Law Association, whatever, if you want to call it a law down there. I mean, yeah. One second. And something else didn't make any sense. Are they like the fact that Lynette Preston has been registered in Otter Creek since 2013? Does anyone else have not noticed this? If she's been registered there in 2013, All right. Now, I'm not trying to piss on Jeremy Hales's parade here, but I was thinking about this. If she's been living there, well, she was registered there in 2013. Okay, just work with me on this one. Coffee with vanilla. If she's been there since 2013, that means she knew the previous owner of that property. Don't you think? I mean, or is it just me? Am I actually thinking that? Am I thinking way ahead here, or I could have sworn that she's been there since 2013. How do we know that this wasn't all? I mean, is it coincidence that Jeremy Hales decided to move to exact that town where she was registered, and the fact that like she never mentioned the fact that she was registered there? The fact that there wasn't a single fucking word mentioned the fact that she was registered there in 2013. I mean, we know about Rotonda, we know about Dexter or fucking Idaho or Ohio or whatever you want to call it. We know about Northport. We know about all the different locations between 1996 and 2020. But is anyone else not noticing this, or is it just me? It's all good, Paul. All good. I mean, is it just me? I mean, like, look, I'm not trying to stir the shit here, but there's way too many discrepancies. And one thing that I have also noticed, it's gone very quiet on the fact that people in Northport have gone very quiet. Maybe because obviously some of these people are witnesses. Maybe they've been asked to like keep any information offline, which is understandable considering everything that's going on and considering how many people are systematically harassed and hounded if they do say anything. But has anyone noticed the discrepancies that no one has actually brought up the fact that Lynette Preston was registered in Northport in 2013? And in fact, hang on a sec, let me see if I can find it. One sec. Please bear with me a second. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. That one. That's the one I want. That is the one I want, y'all. Oops. That's the one I want. That's the one I want. I like it. That's the one I want. Right. So, explain this to me then. Right. If like with everything said, let's just play devil's advocate here. All right. She's moved down from Northport. Okay. Yes, apparently they did, because if they didn't own the property in Northport, they wouldn't have been able to sell it and get the money they had. Right, here's one thing you need to think. Think outside the box. Just step out of the box for a second. She lived in West Rotonda. She lived in wherever there was another place. Then she lived in Northport, and then in Otter Creek, and then Ohio. But here's the problem, though. There's the problem. And this is public information. Anyone can find this. This is public information. The thing is, if she was registered in Otter Creek at yeah. You see, this is where the problems start. Because that means, one, she knew about the properties. Two, she knows the people down there. And three, she's lied. Because I could have sworn that she said that she's never been to Otter Creek. But I would have to go back and do some more research. But the fact is, okay, registration says it right there, 22nd of April, 2013. So, yeah. Just saying, 12 years ago. So in the last 12 years, she's been lived in 3 different places in Florida alone. In 12 years. And as Cynthia just said, they moved to Otter Creek in 2021 and bought that property. Well, excuse me a sec. Do you know how much money I could make as a private investigator if I came over there and just investigated all this? And actually was able to actually be over there and start investigating and doing research? Oh my word, I'd be a millionaire by now. I mean, all you have to do is Google any of this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not picking on Lynette. I am showing what I am finding for someone who, one, doesn't even live in your country, two, doesn't even live, Marlene, it doesn't matter when she lived in Germany. That's irrelevant. What happened in Germany is irrelevant. And to be honest with you, in regards to this case and in regards to everything else, it is irrelevant. But I can say it is the typical Lynette Preston. But what I can say is it is irrelevant, my dear. So Germany does. I mean, people are going on about Germany. You don't need to worry about Germany. One, because the person doesn't want to discuss it, and two, it is irrelevant. It has got no bearing on this case whatsoever. What is being questioned is a lot of discrepancies. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really care what goes on in their life, but what I do care about is the facts and the truth. And I can tell you right now, guys, regardless of what my opinion is or what anyone else's opinion is, the only people who can tell the truth, who won't tell the truth, are them. And I doubt very much you will ever, ever hear the truth unless you separate them. You separate John Cook from Lynette Preston for a while and then start asking questions. Then probably maybe you'll probably might get answers that you'll be very surprised of. Because here's one thing. If they were married, right, if they've been together 10 years, okay, so mathematically it sort of adds up. They've been together 10 years, they were married for 5 and then divorced for 5. That's from their own mouths. Now, ask yourself this question. Why is John Cook still with her? What does she have on him that stops him from, or what does she do, or what does she have on him to stop him from just walking away and finding a new life for himself? No, because it's an official website, and if they'd have made a typo, that's from the registry. And if you go onto the Floridian district registered list, it says the same thing there. Because I actually checked that. I did some research, and because I couldn't actually go into the website because it was restricted or something, someone else had to do it, and they basically went on and they confirmed the exact date. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Aussie Gen. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting that up on my screen. If it was a typo or there was something wrong with the information, I wouldn't use it in the first place. Like I said before, If I don't think it should be shown, or I don't think people need to know, then I won't show it. Or if I think there's something wrong with it, I won't show it. And now Randy can put this bankruptcy to one side. Randy could literally put a denial, and also I think Randy put in a motion against the amended motion from Lisa Lee Crampon fucking monster fee, and I hope the judge accepts Randy's motion, because at the end of the day, right, you made a mistake. Tough. It is as it is. No matter if you change it, but the fact that you are trying to avoid disclosure, you're trying to avoid telling the truth. And the more you open your mouth, the more you sit on your platform, maybe on YouTube or Rumble or wherever you want, right? You are making mistakes. You are making simple, silly little mistakes that you don't even realize you're doing yourself until people mention it in there. Because I can tell you right now, I can tell you exactly who is sitting outside my live stream right now, listening to my live stream. Can't I, Larman? Bonjour, ça va, Chris? I know who sit outside my streams and lurk. But thanks for the watch hours, and thanks for being a fan. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you put your attitude and your ego to one side and actually listen. Right? Maybe what you hear will help you figure out some of the issues that have been going on. For example, look at the big bust up between Lips and freaking Keel Nose. Yeah. So, yeah. There's a lot that can be said, but I'm not here to nitty pick on people. I'm here to point out their discrepancies. Simple. But one thing I do want to say to everybody, thank you so much for supporting my pretty when she was here the other day. And thanks very much for supporting Squid as well. I want you to go and support. Actual fact, you know what? I'm going to give a shout out today because I think both of them deserve it. They both Squid and both my pretty and Squid deserve a shout out. So I want you to, go and show them some love, right? And go and hit them with a thumbs up, go and hit them with a sub, right? And give them a little bit of support, because at the end of the day, they are genuinely nice people. And I can tell you one thing right now, in the background, there's a lot of other people, right? Like like JK Films and DJ Rattus and all these other people who've, directly or indirectly been involved. Just go and show them love. All right. So please go and show these two ladies some support and respect. Yes, absolutely, Daniel. And that, in fact, obviously, I'm not going to get I do want to have a chat with you at some point, Daniel, in regards of a couple of topics, but it's not a bad thing. So, but like I said, you keep doing what you're doing, mate, and enjoy what you're doing as well. Yes, man, and yeah, I noticed that. A big shout out to. So please go and support my pretty and Squid. Okay, my pretty deserves every single ounce of support, hugs, and love that she can get. And that goes for like Nimrod. That goes for Eric as well. He could do the moral support and everything, and also Roy Lossinger. SMN. There are a lot of people who need that support, and this community is really good at supporting each other. And Snowflower, for example, My condolences and congratulate on the anniversary, but again, condolences. And that he's sitting up there, he's sitting up there in the bar having a typical rum, Navy rum. So he'll be remembered. Oh, Aussie Gen. It was an eye opener. That's for sure. It was definitely an eye opener because there was a lot of stuff that we discuss. And to be perfectly honest with you, usually when my pretty and I do a stream, it's usually just under 2 hours because we talk about a couple of topics, we talk about any updates and stuff like that, and then basically we go into the film review, the game review, or film history, and then we go to Q&A, and then we have like a final four at the end. So I was a bit shocked and taken back that we were live for over 3 hours. So, but the problem is you don't seem to remember. You just don't grasp the fact how long you've been live. I mean, like now, I felt like I've been live for about an hour, but I've just looked and I've been live 40 minutes. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's yeah, and obviously we've had people come in here. We've had a troll on that night, which was quite hilarious, But everyone is welcome as long as they behave themselves and they follow the rules. And if they don't, they get yeet. In actual fact, I am right now sitting in Squid Stream, and I'm very tempted to screen sniper the same way she did it with me. Right, but I'll do that later. Right, she got me good. Oh, the Boer War, yeah, yeah. I think that a lot of people, especially from different countries, like I was actually having a discussion about the. Funny enough, we were having a discussion. When was it? Yesterday or today? I fucking can't remember. And we were having a discussion about the slave trade and what Great Britain did to stop the slave trade. How far they went to stop it, and I was like, wow. You know, um, and that like in what was it, 1861 or was it 1761? So I think 18 in, about Lincoln, about the amount of assassination attempts on Lincoln. So that we had a very in-depth conversation, and it was a very interesting conversation because like history teaches you things. I personally think people need to pay more attention to the history and also themselves, because when you make a mistake, what do? You learn from that mistake, right? Hi Arizona, how you doing? Hi Mama Joe, hi Lisa, by the way. And the thing is, if you look at this case and you look at the behavior of some people, right? I'll give you an example. Look at Jeremy Hells. Jeremy Hells has got a good legal team, right? He's got a business head on, and what he does, he looks at these things, and he is a human being, so he's going to react to certain things, but he does it. He calculates what he can and can't say, and like many moons ago, I used to say, I said, there's no way that he just jumps online, he jumps on the live stream and just says what he wants to say. I bet, and I said, and you can go back and check. There was at one point I turned around and I said, I bet you any money before he says anything about this case on his streams, it goes through his legal team first, right? But at the end of the day, obviously, even the legal team can't stop him from saying what he wants to say. However, now, if you would think about it, like Bruce Matskin is, within 30 seconds of seeing the name on the docket of Bruce Matskin's attorney, I did the research and I found him online. He's a young fella, You know, his hat is definitely too big for his head, but he's a young fella. You know, he hasn't been in law for long. I think about 3 or 4 years. So does that mean that Bruce is going to try to control him, or will Bruce actually sit in court and keep his mouth shut for once? Who knows? But that's his problem, his choice. And then you've got David Helms, lawyer. Okay, now all these lawyers for lawyers, it's going to be an interesting one. That's my opinion. I think that there's going to be a conflict of interest. But one thing I do know is that the sanctions for you, Matt Skin, I can't wait to see that face expression when you get slapped with the sanctions that you're probably going to get slapped with. I've heard rumors that it could go into the tens of thousands, and also rumors that apparently you lose your license. Both would be suffice. I would say jail time, is it worth putting someone in jail because they were a complete dickhead? Yeah, that's up to you guys. I mean, I don't really care. I think that by putting him in jail would just make the situation way, 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 way worse for him. But then again, I mean, we've had Luthman in jail. Oh God, we got Scott Stark falling apart by the seams. By the way, Bruce, is your wife still the manager of your privately owned LLC company? Keep it in the family, they said. The fun you would have, they said. Yeah. So anyway, guys, how are you guys doing? How are you doing? Once I was a small boy. I'm waiting for you guys to type now. So, SMN, I'm going okay. Thank you. A bit sore leg, arm, Murphy Law. All good though. Glad I have to take my shoe off you, but I'm glad to hear you're doing okay, huh? Lisa Cynthia, Aussie Marley. Good to see you. Marlon, DJ Rattus is okay. He's fine. He's just busy. You know. You see, doing okay. How are you, young sport? Young sport. What you? Okay, yes, man. What you after? Calling me young? Thank you, Marlon. Something else I was going to mention. Where is it? What was I going to mention? Obviously, motion. Oh yes, Lee's motion. Right, plaintiff Lee's filed a motion to dismiss under the right. Okay, that was page 1 of 8. He was said with the that's what I wanted to mention. I knew there was something I forgot. Do you know when I know you did. I know you met. I know. Can you remember when Lisa Lee said that she didn't get served and she was bragging that it's all on her CCTV and that it wasn't the real name and everything else? You know, when I said the other night it would be funny if fucking Randy Socket decided to go, there you go, there's the receipt. And lo and behold, in document 90 that was filed on the 9th of the July, lo and behold, he fucking slaps it in there. It was, I couldn't stop laughing. Sweet Fly, are you leaving? Are you leaving us? Then fly, my dear, fly, but fly careful. Stay out there. Is that Missy? Wait a minute. Is that Scottish Jock? Is that Jock in here? Wait. Oh, Missy is Missy okay? I think so. I haven't heard. I'll try and get hold of her tonight. I'll try and get hold of her tonight. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so there we are. Right, and I was reading through the document 90. And I found it very, very interesting. The wording, the way, and I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if it was Randy or something, but it was very easy to follow. It was very easy to see the discrepancies right? Very easy. And then when you email someone and you say, my grounds are these, and you just send, but you don't add the file or the document, yeah. And then you get a response back by, oh, yeah, okay, what are your grounds? Now, what I found very interesting in this was on page, oh, yes, here we go, page 5 of 8. Refer to defendant Lee et al. While paragraph 50 to 53 of the amended complaint, Doc 35, refers to Lee and matches up with her complaints in her motions to dismiss about the donations she solicits. And let's see, yeah. Lee's motions regarding paragraph 26, 27, 29, 30, 32, and 49 to 55 also cannot withstand this analysis, as these paragraphs match completely up to the amended complaint and not the original complaint. And when reading Lee's motion doc 79, paragraphs 26, 27, 29, 30, 32, 49 to 55 in the original complaint also do not refer to Lee at all. Instead, they refer only to Preston, Cook, Helm, and Matskin. See Doc 1 at paragraph 26, 27, 29, 30, 32, and 49 to 55. Do you know, when I read that, I could not stop laughing. I really couldn't stop laughing. The fact that these guys had to sit there, and I'm not laughing at Randy Socket or at them. I was laughing at the crampons, because you could tell that there was more than one person writing this document, because if it was one person, they would have been able to go, right, okay, that's what I wrote, that's what I want amended. That's what I wrote, that's what I want amended. That's what I wrote, this is what I amended. So basically, when you put both documents next to each other, they will be very similar, but you would have the amended one on the right and the old one on the left. All right. But this is where they're making, this is what I'm talking about, the mistakes. Because the thing is, if you've got one person looking at this whole document, they would have then noticed that the actual paragraphs, which he says, paragraphs 26 to 32 and 49 to 55 on the original complaint, do not refer to Lee at all. So that means there was more than one person, and they were not paying attention to the actual document. They were just fucking, oh yeah, well, let's write this, or let's write that. Because if they had, they wouldn't have fucking put that into their new motion. Now, what really got me was the fucking footnote. And it's about fucking time this has been in a document and it's proper. I am so happy about this, because I have been saying for months and months and months, I don't even know how many times I've said it, about the transparency. Where's all the money going? Get this. Actual fact, let's take a screenshot of this and I'll put it up. Let's take a screenshot of this and I'll put it up so you can all read it. I do apologize. There's me sitting here reading the fucking thing. Right, please hold. Let me just sort this out. 1 second. 1 second. That's what I fucking feel like. This is what I feel this is. This is like a freaking circus. Actual fact, it is a circus. In fact, it is a circus. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, let's try this one again, shall we? Right. So, where am I? There. Right. So, basically, you've got this document here. Okay. Now, this is the bit we need to look at. This bit here. Right. I am so freaking glad that this is now official. It's on the docket. It's in the paper. It's in the file. It's done. I'm really, really happy about this. Because if you look at this, note 50, Weeks solicits e-cash from consumers who watch Weeks programming and misleads them to believe these donations are for charitable purposes, i.e. for Preston's child, to construct a home on Preston's property, etc. Yes, the barnuminium and everything else. Hi, Johnny D. Okay. And there's other stuff they've been talking about. Okay. Now, Preston has stated there is lumber and there's parts on her property for this build. However, okay, the barnuminium was already there. So they had the money to build a barnuminium. Excuse me. So here's my question. Why didn't they finish it off? I'll tell you why. Because they wanted to buy a brand spanking new Jeep Gladiator, considering of all the cars they've had in the past history, the Volkswagen, the carpool vehicle, different vehicles. All right, but if you do your research, you'll see them. Okay. Now, 51. The soliciting of donations for this purpose from consumers who watch Weeks has been quite effective. Weeks has been able to raise at least 70,000 since August 2024 under the above false pretense. These are false pretenses because Weeks has kept the great bulk of the money for herself and for her own personal use, which she has stated. This is fact. We're just going by what's been said by the crampons and by the documents. Now, 52. Don't be worried, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back to this in a minute. 52. Weeks fails to account for where the money raised by these consumers has been spent. In fact, in April the 6th, 2025, Weeks said, what I was doing, it was a fundraiser. It was not donations because it was given to me to help me. It's not a donation. It may have been called a donation or something, or because that's what people actually, think if they're doing something, it's a donation. Yeah. How many fucking people wrote in the word donation when they sent you money? How many people have probably wrote in this is a donation towards HG? How many people? Yeah, and here's another thing that he could have added, right? Is that in fact in October 2024 they already had the money for the fence. So why were they still grifting for the fence after the fact? Just saying, right? 53. In actuality, Weeks' process and strategy, Weeks' scheme, is nothing more than a scheme to enrich herself at the expense of the consumers and Hales. Not just that, Mr. Shockett, but she's enriched herself by the expense of not just the consumers and Mr. Hales, but also from Lynette Preston. Because if Lynette Preston had that 70,000 or had the money that was received by the crampons, I doubt very much she would have put in this fucking bankruptcy file. Do you? Think about it. Just think about it. Think about it. If Lynette Preston would have had all that money, the fact that she's had her taxes paid or the fact that bills have been paid and everything else, the fact that the Weeks turned around and said, oh, that money's for me, the fact that Only Me or David R, whatever you want to call him, stated in his comment that the donation, it was donations. It wasn't a gift. It wasn't a tip. It was donations. And that's exactly what he said. He wanted to know about his £56,000 donation. Not a gift, not a tip. And this is why I've caught a lot of people out. I could name and shame a shitload of people who have taken advantage of people. There are people who use their PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. That's fine. But it's how you use it. If you expect people to donate to something, it should be done through a proper company like GoFundMe or like Gift and Go or some sort. Like even YouTube has a way where you can set up a fundraiser. Right, and look, I get it. There's a lot of people out there who don't like what I say or don't like my opinion, and I get that. And you know what? I respect you for that, because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what you think of me or what your opinion is about me. What you need to do is give a shit what my opinion is about you. However, you have every right to have an opinion about me. May it be negative, positive, or neutral. It doesn't matter. But when you sit there and you give these people your money, and they don't take that money and use it for the reasons they ask you for that in the first place, then the only person who can be blamed is you. You are facilitating, you are enabling this behavior. As simple as that. No one should receive a penny on negativity. And the fact that they sat there, blatantly lied to your face, and the amount of times I brought it up, at one point they were getting so pissed off that I was basically putting a spotlight on them, right? They started trying to drag me through the shit. David, if I would then say just give it, just link it to, give it to someone and say, hey, can you post this please on this person's behalf? Because at the end of the day, you know, people are a little bit embarrassed to ask for help, even though, like, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, anyone can ask for help. You're always going to get two responses: yes, no. That's it. Ah, yes, thank you, Jace Martinez. I forgot all about the gift cards. Yeah, I mean, they must have received what, 20, 30 gift cards. I mean, from what I gathered, I apparently they posted a screenshot, or they posted something with dates and the last four of the gift card and the amounts. But I'm starting to think that that was just a ruse to get out of that situation, because at the end of the day, gift cards have not just numbers on them. And to be perfectly honest with you, you could have put the gift cards down on a table, took a picture of all the gift cards, and that would have been transparency enough. Oh, here you go. Here are 16 gift cards of various. So on the left hand side, you've got the hundreds. On the right hand side, you've got 50s and less. And you just take a picture and then put it up. Done. But you didn't do that. That there is transparency. That you're proving that you received those gift cards. So that means when people see that picture, go, oh yeah, I sent them a gift card for 100. There you go, right? So that means you've got transparency. You've got a record. You know, you can follow the breadcrumbs, but they didn't even do that. Yeah, yeah. Of course, Jeremy called their bluff, Calvin. He's not the only one who called their bluff. But because obviously, don't forget, Lisa has a personal vendetta against Jeremy. This is on a personal thing for her. And she just jumped to it when she realized that Lynette Preston was a little bit slow. And she went, fuck it, I just found my base stepping stone to go after Jeremy. And that's exactly how all this started. And it all just fell together when obviously Deuce Boy and them, they start getting together. And obviously then you've got Jabba the Hutt, you know. And those other three idiots were nowhere to be seen or known. Or I never heard of these three idiots until Bruce brought them into the picture. Bonehead was the first one to buy a Home Depot card for the first panel. So after that, it went crazy. Yeah, yeah. But they still didn't show any transparency. And that's one thing they're going to fall flat on their face with. And I do hope, I mean, like, I'm not a vindictive fucker, but I'll tell you one thing. I hope the IRS are investigating this. Because this is not just national, it's also international. So if someone internationally sent them money as a donation, and they haven't used that money for the intended donation, oh dear, yes, good luck on that one. Because technically, for them to press charges, they don't need the victim. Not at first, no. Only if they want to take it further. Yes, I ask questions. I ask people, guys. Look. I am not hating on anybody here. You know, both sides. Yeah, but one side is the victim and the other side is the aggressor. All right. And I'm going to say this point blank, and I don't care if people fucking hate me for it or not. All right. But Jeremy Hells and George are the victims in this legal case. As simple as that. And, I don't agree with some of the stuff that they do or say or the way they behave, but at the end of the day, no one's perfect. No one is perfect. I support Jeremy and George because I like them as people, and I also like them as creators because they are funny, especially when they're doing the coin machines or when they're doing storages, and that's the reason I'm a fan of theirs. I'm a fan of Madam Mayor and Brett, even though if they, no matter what, if people talk negatively about me, I still will respect them and I support them. With Travis and Travis and Julie, his wife is named Julie, isn't it? Yeah. I support them as well. I think they're fantastic people. And I think that Travis is probably one of the nicest people going, but I also know that he's probably one person that you don't want to fucking upset. There's a lot of people. And then when you look at the other side, you're going, well, what frickin' tree did you fall at and who promoted you to branch manager? I mean, the hatred, the toxicity and the hatred alone are just phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. And then people want to attack me and attack other people because we have an opinion. And you just happen to like that opinion. Well, you shouldn't sit on your fucking high horse, rip people off, lie through your teeth, and then try to avoid transparency or accountability when people question you. And now you're trying to play a game. You're trying to drag this out for it to cost. But what you don't realize is that you will lose everything. You've lost your credibility. You've lost any trust. If anyone would trust any of you on the anti-what the hells, yeah, they're delusional. But that's all you want. These four out of all four people. No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 people on the anti-what the hell system. All they want is publicity. That's all they want. They just want publicity and they want to become famous. But what they've done, in fact, they've actually done the complete opposite. Right? They've done the complete opposite. What they've done, they've actually shown their true colors and for what people they are. I've got a picture, actual fact, a screenshot from a video. And if anyone would watch that video, it's actually from a news channel. I'm not going to show it on here. If you watch it, I wonder how many people will pick up certain things that have happened in that video. And this was a news broadcast from New York 1, I think it's called. Just to give you an idea, physical contact is battery. You are not to touch people, no matter where, who it is. With the minute you put your hands, even if you poke someone or you touch their person, that is battery. Because you don't have permission. Now, one thing I can tell you, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually show it to a couple of people before, if I do decide to publicize it. Even though this was in 2013, I think it was, or 14. Because I've asked, I got a friend who's a lawyer over in the States, and he said, yeah, you can still be charged for it. But then again, it'll be waste of time, waste of money, taxpayers' money if you did, because it's nearly 11 years ago. But there's something in that video that concerned me when I noticed it. At first, I didn't notice it, but that's the problem with me. What I do, I sort of turn every screen into what you call it, a grid system. So if you ever look at a picture, right, look at the picture and then turn it, then just imagine there's a grid system, like, like sync your battleship, right? So you got A1, A2, A3, and that's how I analyze pictures and videos. There you go. I gave away a little secret. It takes a while, but once you get used to that, how to do it, you can do it quite quickly. And boy, did I see some stuff. Anyway, that's beside the point. But going back to the actual court case itself, this is getting stupid. And David Green, one thing I have to tell, I'm going to say this publicly: never ever change who you are or what you are or your opinion. You have every right to have an opinion. Okay, and if you make a post or you say something, that is your right to do so, even if it's 100% true, false, or it's whatever. It doesn't matter. You have every right to be who you are. Don't let anyone ever say any different. Simple. Okay, so you just remember 3 things: think before you speak, go slow, right? And then always pre-read or read over before you post or you say anything. And that goes to everybody, actually. But it's yeah. This whole, I mean, like this is what gets me. All right, I read this. Apparently, this was Lynette Preston. I have never got any donations for 56,000. I've never gotten 1 penny of anything, not 1 dime, not 1 nickel, nothing. Was never a donation for. Right, okay. So what you're telling us is that only me didn't exist. $56,000 or pound, which is then $70,000, never existed. It was never mentioned on the crampons, and they never received it. Right, okay. It's funny that that's the amount of money he raised for an aunt to try and take my daughter away, who's never met her, didn't want her when she was in the belly. Right. Okay. Now, I am not going to. I think Lynette's got spelling issues or grammatical issues. So you look at that post and then look at the bankruptcy and all the filing she's done. Do you seriously think she's wrote that shit? Well, yeah, right. Okay. Pull the other one. It's got jingle bells on it. But now that amount of supposedly given to me, you understand that the person who did donate a large amount and others have all been spoken to. I've never been given a penny. Oh, I wonder why you haven't been given a penny, Lynette. And also, if you've had communication with them, all you have to do is redact the email addresses, all right, and post the conversations. That would I think that would actually clear a little bit up. Yes, all right, Marlene, I shall do that. Yes, I know, Joe, and it gets better. So, and no penny. So you better do your research. Hey, Lynette, or anyone who knows Lynette. Hey, Lynette, come here a minute. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing, Lynette. Here's actually a couple of pointers. The first thing, the dogs that you've apparently adopted or bought for a certain amount of money, within the next 4 months, you won't be able to control one of them, let alone 3 of them. And like someone else has already pointed out, which I wanted to point out, but they pointed out, so I didn't have to point out, is that these type of dogs, okay, yes, they're not very child friendly, and they grow to become very big. Boing, boing, boing. Who's boing me? I'm like, oh, okay. And here's another thing. Do you know that every time you post, you don't only throw yourself under the bus, but you throw every single other person under the bus? Do you know that? And the fact that you actually give away, you've actually now thrown Lisa under the bus, because you've totally contradicted of everything that's been said in just in that one post. You silly little woman. But anyway, I have never got any donations. Right, here's I've never got any donations. Wait, did she write that one? Why is that there? Why is that there twice? Wait, she posted that twice? She copied and pasted the first comment. Wait, what? I just noticed that. Well, fucking first time I looked at the picture. She's copied and pasted the first comment and then added onto it. So no, do research. Donations were given, not asked for, towards building our house. What house? You got a fucking barnuminium. The lumber is sitting here. Donations were made for Christmas. We have already had it. Donations were taken for the fence. So you just admitted we already had it. Donations were taken for the fence. Uh-oh. 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 You know what I need right now? I'll tell you what I need right now. I'm going to tell you exactly what I need right now. Where is it? You know what I need right now. I'll tell you what I need right now. I need right now this.
Spawn Trooper.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lufa song, where we now reach and have now come to terms that Lionel Preston has lied, Irie. The bomber clad sitting there lying for a teeth and copying and pasting shit.
Of the loofah. Loofah leaves him hanging in his barracks like a banner.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna play the song. We need a Dr. Pepper in it.
Don't mess with the Englishman.
The fuck what?
I mean the Irish
Oh,
man.
now you're looking for
the Scottish man.
Oh, now you're cruising.
Oh shit, I mean the Welshman.
Okay, there you
He'll
go.
give you a stare and a proverb too, then vanish on a mountain like the mist do. He don't need no war, no heavy command, just a melody line and a sponge in hand. When Babylon's stress tries to ruin his calm, he just hums and he scrubs like a loofah bomb. Loofah, loofah, he's the hillside soother. Trooper, trooper, the trilpa mover. He sings what he means and he means what he says. Spawn Trooper got the crime of the world washed away. Spawn Trooper, he don't beat round, he just be round. Loofah man, cleaning the vibe of the whole damn land. Trooper, trooper, loofah man, cleaning the vibe of the whole damn land.
And there you go. That was the Luther song, because that is probably the best song to play. I mean, come on, people. You've literally just thrown. Oh my god. I so hope the judge can you imagine that poor magistrate has to go through all this paperwork? I mean, the fact that you throw yourself under the bus and throw other people. No, I don't need a blue bucket, my darling. Amogo will be in suit. Yes, yeah. Amogo's at the moment being a Formula One driver. I get it. There's a lot of people out there who think they're trolls, but they're not. They're actually haters, but they do it under the premise of trolling. And then there's people out there who lie through their teeth and make fabricate stories and shit like that. And then there's people out there who, they will just abuse and use anyone they can until they get what they want. And the moment you call them out on it, you are the bad guy. You are the hater. You are the everything. But when you point out these facts, people ignore you. Don't you find that interesting? I think the judge needs to come. I think the judge needs to come in here and listen to the Luther song. Actually, in fact, he needs to listen to this one as well. I think he needs to listen to this one as well.
This one's going straight from our hearts to the boots of the Valley Knight Spawn Trooper, baby. You've got these crampons skanking in love.
This one's going straight from our hearts to the boots of the Valley Knight. Spawn Trooper, baby, you've got us skanking in love. He's got boots full of rhythm and a stare like tea, trooping through the hills humming harmony. He don't say much, but he speaks in bass, and we melt like butter when he looks our way. He swapped his shield for a velvet beat, daffodils tucked where the skanking meets. Oh, trooper, trooper, we see you glide, got us floating in lace through the countryside. We love you, Spawn Trooper, slow like honey, sweet like rain. We love you, Spawn Trooper,
slipping through our window pane.
we love you, Spawn Trooper,
Like a lemon on a lazy breeze.
you make our hearts go loopy
With your reggae melodies. There's a tambourine moon in your knapsack, boy, and your dubplate dreams feel like lemon joy. You skank on clouds, we follow slow. Your rhyming boots, you steal the show.
We'd write your name on a biscuit tin, crochet your face on a jacket pin. We'd kiss your shadow if it walked our way. Spawn Trooper, you make rainy days okay. We love you, Spawn Trooper,
Soft like fog and daffodil dew.
we love you, Spawn Trooper,
We'd skank all day just dreaming of you.
we love you, Spawn Trooper.
Socks on the line, beats in our teeth.
We are the crampon, sweet and slow.
And we love you so eternally. They call him Spawn Trooper.
They call him Spawn Trooper,
They call him Spawn Trooper.
we are the crampons.
They call him Spawn Trooper.
Fuck it, fuck her, fuck him, fuck this, fuck that, fuck off, fuck no, fuck that's holy. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Fuck you, fuck me, fuck it, fuck her, fuck him, fuck this, fuck that, fuck off, fuck no, fuck that's fuck you, fuck me, fuck it, fuck her.
That was just sent to me. Hey. So that was just sent to me by a friend. Fuck me, fuck you, fuck it. But anyway, yeah. So there we are. What's this one? I can't remember this one.
Hey, this is Fat Lisa Lee. Smash that subscribe button on Spawn Trooper's YouTube channel if
Thank
you
you.
love a one-stop shop for epic gaming content,
Thank you.
wild court trial breakdowns and motions,
Thank you.
and no-nonsense investigations into online drama and internet nonsense.
Thank you.
Whether he's roasting shady YouTubers or dropping headshots in-game,
Thank you so much,
Spawn
Lisa.
Trooper keeps it real, keeps it smart, and always keeps it entertaining.
Thank you.
Join the squad. You won't regret it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Crampons, for that. I just received that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You know, it's just absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for that plug there. Didn't realize you cared that much. So yeah. Oh my word. Anyway, guys, excuse me a second. That's too funny. That is too funny. I mean, like, you can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up. Oh my god. Oh my word, that was funny. I should use that. I think I should use that once in a while. You know, I mean, just for the record, it is AI created. Just so you know. Not sure what program it is, but that is freaking awesome. All the professionals that have been caught on came saying loads of bad shit. Has been encouraging the lunatics to drag it out. Best troll in the world. Yeah. So anyway, guys, right. So what we're going to do, we're going to go pow, 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 pow. We're now going to go to Q&A time. So let's hear your questions, guys. And feel free to ask questions. If I don't want to answer the questions, I won't. If I can, I will. But if I can't, I won't. Okay. Just don't be offended if I don't answer the question. Yeah. So I am with what else? I get it, Juliet. Juliet, I get it. You know, it has come to that. That's why I pulled away from being fully involved in it, because it was just getting to a point where it's repetitive and it's the same thing. At the end of the day, that's why all I do now is I just give my opinion about the documentation about what's been, that's been put on a docket, because that's the only truthful well, even though some of the filings are absolutely pathetic, but it's the only place you can get the facts and the truth. So do you want my honest opinion? I think this is still going to be. I doubt very much this will be done this year. I doubt very much. I mean, we're already in July now, and because of their messing about, it's being dragged in. It's being dragged on. To be perfectly honest with you, this can drag on until next year. And if it does, if it's still going on by November, then yeah, you're definitely going to be looking at next year. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think a lot of people. My pretty, hello, my darling. My pretty, would you like to jump on and explain the documents? Oh, hey, my pretty. Yeah, we've already covered that, but you can come on. Well, hang on a minute. Please hold. Let me see. 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 There you go. Yeah, my pretty. Try the link. If it doesn't work, then I'll send you a new one. Excuse me. And don't forget, guys, if you want to go and support my pretty and want to show her some love, all right, just jump on here and just go and show her some love. Oh, wait, are you here? No, you're not. If it doesn't, if it doesn't work, I'll send you a new link. Yeah, it looks like I need to send a new link. Uh-oh, everyone stand by your beds. Ammo girls here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the stream.
Yes, 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 yes. I see you're just having fun without me.
Yes. Just so you know, I did mention the 14th of July, and
Okay.
we did discuss about the thing is, and like, to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't. Um, I think if Randy does put it in, it will. I don't think this case will stop. It'll carry on.
Honestly, I don't know. If they have a lot of leadway with bankruptcies, and it may stay the case for a while until she goes through the bankruptcy, court and goes through all that stuff. It won't stop it,
No.
but it may put it on hold. It
Hmm.
may put it on hold, and there's no way of knowing. I mean, Randy's got to have a really good argument to get this stay not to happen. And I know Randy can do it, and I'm sure Randy has been working on it all this time up until this point. It's
Well,
not like he's
yeah,
just working on it today.
yeah, and I also showed them the footnote of Randy's motion in regards of her amended filing. Um, that he's actually for the first time mentioned about the donations and everything. And then we just talking about Lynette's comment, and she's actually done her first comment, then copied and pasted it into the second comment, and then added on. And then she basically actually confirmed what I said about the October last year, that they already had the money for the fence.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and come on, people, we are not totally stupid. Okay, we may be podunk, we're not hodunk, we're podunk. All right, we're
Right.
podunk folks, but we're smart enough to know that a personal loan is not a loan from a person. A personal loan means that you go to the bank and you get a personal loan, and they used to call it years ago here a signature loan. You're basically getting a loan that you don't have to put up, you know, collateral and stuff for you. And it's usually a small loan, or you buy something small like a car or something like that. That's a personal loan. It's not like a house where they hold the deed, they hold the mortgage on your home.
Yeah.
She's so full of cocky bull jive.
Now, funny enough, while you've just been talking, something just dawned on me. If
Uh-huh.
she, if say, if they investigate her like funds and they do an investigation, a dig, and they notice that she over the last 2 to 3 months she's been putting, like her property and stuff like that in different people's names, would that constitute deception by?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You're frauding the court. Yes. You can't do that. You can't move stuff around. You can't It just doesn't work that way. Even Jeremy can't do that. He can't take and all of a sudden, as of once he starts his lawsuit, he can't then go take his, let's say, his house and put that in the business name. It's got to
Okay.
already been there. He can't go move it, because then you're hiding assets, you're frauding the court, you're fraud. I mean, you just can't do those things, and those things do come out and are found in the end. And my understanding, this bankruptcy judge is appealed.
Yeah, I just find it very interesting because like there's a lot of I've seen a couple of sentences around different things or what she said, and oh, and we're having a squid raid, by the way. Watch out, people! Tentacles are here. Um, Welcome to the stream, everybody from Squid Pro Quos, and welcome. And by the way, guys, just very quickly, if you're new here and you don't know who Squid Pro Quo is, obviously go and check the young tentaclized lady and go and check her out. And there you
She heard
go.
I was over here, that's why she came.
Oh yeah, no, don't you two, no, bad lady, don't go there. Don't you start picking on me. I've already been hearing about the custody fights that you two have got going on.
That's what
So
I was getting ready to say. She found out I was having an extra visit, is what it was.
yeah, it's like, yeah, the prison. Why do I for a second I just thought like I'm sitting in a cell. Hello, mum. Yeah. So yeah, going back to this, Roy is hi Roy, how you doing, brother? Hi Gail, how you doing? Hi Steve. What I find quite interesting is the fact that this bankruptcy has appeared from fucking nowhere. We know that she didn't do it herself, and the fact is that there's going to be a possibility that Randy and I'm gonna take a bet on this one. He is going to counter that one. He's going to say nope, and also with Lee as well. And I hope this magistrate is looking at this case from outside and looking at it and going, yeah, we need to definitely put a stop to the anti what the hell's side.
I mean, I saw this coming when the thing was first filed. I made the comment, watch, she's going to file bankruptcy. It just, I mean, you know it's coming. So Randy's known all along this is coming. I mean,
Hmm.
as an attorney, you have to, as an attorney, I would think you have to look at the case and kind of argue the case for the person that you're going against, so that you can compile your your complaint, so
Yeah.
that you can counteract everything they're going to say. You got to look at both sides, and you got to think, how would I, if I was her attorney, what would I be telling her to do? So Randy's already thought this all the way through.
Well,
And
yeah.
also,
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, there's already a discrepancy. I mean, how how Bruce and Lynette are going to get out of this one where he lied about being fired as the attorney, and then that's one thing, and the second thing is we know that one of the three wannabe Kellogg's I found my license in a Kellogg's box lawyers. Um, for a fact they've been helping these people write these documents, and I didn't.
yeah, they're sending them to the places to get the information. Because let's be for real, the normal person,
Yeah,
the normal person does not know how to look up case law.
yeah. Right. Here's a good question for you.
Does LP's bankruptcy filing stop just her case, or does all the Fed cases get put on hold for everyone mentioned? Unfortunately, it's everybody mentioned. The whole case gets put on hold.
Mm.
That's why they didn't file bankruptcy for John. See, you got to get in their psyche. They didn't have to file it for John. They only had to pay to file it for one person. And with Lynette filing it, it puts a stay on both cases. Both cases are put on hold while she's going through the bankruptcy. And so that's why they didn't have to do anything for John. John didn't need an attorney because this one attorney has put everything on hold. But there again, putting it on hold doesn't mean it stops it. Just
Oh,
pauses it.
that's another good point. And at some point, Roy, you need to get hold of me on Facebook. That is a bloody good question. That not
It
a question,
is.
a quote or a sentence. Belifo should be pissed as she blatantly lied to him about. That is a bloody good fucking point because didn't they collect to get a lawyer for her, and then suddenly what's
Yes,
happened?
they did a GoFundMe. They collected $6,300 and some dollars.
Yeah,
$6,000 for the attorney and the filing fee. And they told Blithlow, she told him to, I say to his face, it was on Zoom, but she told him that she was waiting to get an attorney. And she didn't say, I'm waiting to get a bankruptcy attorney or I'm filing bankruptcy. She said, I'm waiting to get an attorney. And even the people that donated to this through PayPal, Bruce set it up,
hmm
even some of those people have issues with the fact that when they donated, they didn't donate for a bankruptcy attorney. They donated for a attorney to defend her. Because what's going to happen when the bankruptcy is over? Let's say the bankruptcy takes 6 months. Okay, let's just say 6 months.
yeah,
Her bankruptcy's done, is discharged.
yeah.
She's still going to need an attorney.
I mean,
Then the
like,
case picks back up.
I mean, the thing is, like, if she's already been told if she doesn't have an attorney at the end date, she represents herself. Now, if this money was, I mean, like, obviously they did it very cleverly. They basically said, yeah, this is for a lawyer. They didn't say what type of lawyer. They just said, yeah, we need this money for a lawyer. So basically, they already pre-planned getting a bankruptcy lawyer or going through a bankruptcy. So they already pre-planned this. So yeah, I don't know how they deal with that over there, but that's deception.
That's going to be up to Bluthlow. It depends on, whether or not he wants to make a statement, because him not saying anything about this is going to send a message to everybody that, hey, look, if you're ever in a lawsuit, you just file bankruptcy.
Yeah,
And
I
you
don't.
use the courts as a weapon to do this and do that. And I don't think he wants to get that message out there, but I do know the laws are very
Specific.
explicit about some things. So I mean, it just depends. It's a crapshoot, fellas.
Yeah,
Anytime you go to court, you might as well go on to Vegas, because
yeah.
anytime you're in court in a lawsuit, you're gambling.
But I do think I don't. I think that like if anyone has watched the Day of the Triffids or anything like that, they will wait until the victim is really close and then they go. I think what Believer is doing right now, he is collecting everything that he's reading everything, because you can tell he's reading everything because he's responding directly at what's being said, and he's not beating around the bush. So I got a funny feeling that this whole bankruptcy thing and everything else, this from Lisa Lee and everyone else, this is going to come to. There's going to be a little mushroom cloud over this one. I mean, I
I think
got
there's
asked.
little. I agree. I agree with you completely. I think, but I don't think it's going to be fast coming like everybody wants. I mean, you
No,
know,
no,
we want to see it now. Come on, let's be for real. We
yeah.
just want to see her get her comeuppance, and we want to see her get
Well,
them right now.
well, not just her, not just her.
No, everybody involved.
Yeah, I want to, because the thing is, I want to see justice be handed out like a baseball bat to a banana. I really do want to see, people who deserve to be to be punished. But at the same time, everyone has a right to be protected. But the problem here is that they are deliberately, either they're doing it deliberately or they don't know what they're doing, and they're not actually paying attention to what's going on, and then they're just writing shit up. Because I said this earlier on, and someone else asked this question earlier on. I think it's Juliet, and she asked, when do you think this case is going to be over? And I said, I doubt very much it's going to be this year.
No, I doubt it's going to be this year at all. I don't see that happening. I see it being probably in the first of the year.
Well,
That's just with one. That's not even counting. Two will be later than that.
yeah, I say that all this, if it does come to it, by that time, a lot of people are just going to get bored of it. I'd say like by June, most of it would have been done.
Yeah, I would see that. I feel like we got another year in this cesspool of things, and
Yeah,
and then after that, next year you've got, if her case goes forward, you've got Lips's case. It's slotted for 2027, I think.
yeah. And that's going to come. That is going to bite her in the ass. So it's going to be like watching a great white you're going for breakfast.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree with you. I give you that. I give you that completely. I mean, if she had handled it differently and came into it differently,
yeah,
without this chip on her shoulder that she's got because she's a woman,
yeah,
and this chip she's got on her shoulder because supposedly she was bullied when she was younger or whatever, if she had came in it as a professional, I may give more credence to what she says.
yeah.
But she didn't. Yeah, she came into it with her own baggage, carrying it with her, and you can't do that.
Baggage. He had a whole fucking truck full of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. They didn't just get U-Haul; they got a whole moving company for that stuff.
Yeah, like Chris here says, I have seen a eviction case that lasted over 2 years because they dismissed the bankruptcy every time the court date was moved. Wow.
Yeah, and think how much money that cost us as taxpayers, that we have to pay.
Yeah,
They go into our court systems when these people do it like this. I
yeah,
mean, if you've got a lot of bills and a lot of debts and you owe a lot of people, I say more power to you. Do what you got to do. That's what the law's there for, is to protect you. But that's not the case here. And we all know that. We're not stupid. We all know that's not the case. She's using it as a weapon. But yet they'll sit there and say Jeremy weaponizes the courts. This is a clear weaponization of the courts.
No, I mean, no.
But
I mean, if I think, I mean, while I'm looking at the comments and I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking of everything that I have witnessed over this case. The whole crew, from the Crampons all the way through to Bone Crusher, they're all you. I mean, they have basic, because like they didn't know each other before this kicked off. They have used Lynette and John Cook to get where they are today. And they're basically using her as a tool to get at Jeremy Hills. But it's really strange. She caused it, and then they've taken her and turned her into a object, you know, and used that object to smash the windows. That's what they're doing.
exactly.
And at the end of the day, it's like, well, you know, with all this going on, I'm not going to. I don't like mentioning HG. I don't like mentioning bringing up the child, but there's the only person. Well, the only person who's really suffering. I mean, I know Jeremy Hills is a big boy. He can look after himself, and so does George. But the one subject who is basically in the middle of all this is that poor child, and it seems that child doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And two, and I bring this up also, guys. Have you noticed that they didn't try to raise money to get this expert witness or this guy to come in and testify that Jeremy wrote the signs and it wasn't Lynette? Notice how there was no fundraiser for that. They didn't raise money to get this expert witness. They didn't raise money to build the defense. If you're not going to build a defense to something like this in court, and you're going to pull something like doing the bankruptcy, it brings into question, you know, you're guilty, and you know that you could get popped with this. And if it does, what are you going to do then?
Well,
They're
I mean,
scared. That's what's happening, because they're not trying to build a defense for her. What's going to happen when the bankruptcy's over with? Is still sitting there.
and she's going to have a black mark against her name when it comes to any credit.
Exactly.
But then again, with all the names that she's used in the past and present,
Use a
and
different one.
yeah, she probably might take one of her names, and you know, I mean, I wonder if this would have been the 1940s. I mean, she would have been able to crack the fucking Enigma code within 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
You know.
most definitely. It's just this. I mean, it's crazy. It's not something that wasn't anticipated, this bankruptcy, but it does. I think it's going to be very interesting for everybody involved that's following it, because we get to see how this works out in the courts. Like when somebody does this, how does this pan out for you?
Yeah, but here's my counter argument on that. We're looking at the Floridian law system. We're not looking at the whole. I mean, for us non-Americans, we're looking at all this going, oh shit, is this what the law's like in America? But a lot of people need to understand that this is just Florida. You know,
Yeah, but bankruptcy laws are federal.
Yeah. I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, and plus, like, you know, Squid's covered different cases, and Tug and Megan have covered different places and everything else, and you know, and you sort of get like an insight of what the law's like. But fucking hell, you know, I mean, cough it up, mate. But the thing is, like, with all this going on, she still brags about her stall, and she's actually made a public statement stating my store, my shop, my jewelry, my this, my that. So basically, she's admitted that that's hers.
I think she's put the stall. My understanding, I may be wrong. Don't quote me on this, guys. I think she's put the stall under the rescue's name, which is all. If that's what she wants to do, that's all well and good. But she daggone better will have that paperwork in order, because if she don't think there's 1,000 eyes watching everything she turns in, she's crazy. She better have everything accounted for, everything, because you don't never know who you're selling to. You could be selling to Joe Blow down the street, or you could be selling to an agent, and they're buying something from you, and then they're going to look over your paperwork and see if you turned in that receipt that they purchased that from you. She better have every T crossed and every I dotted if that's what she's done.
Mm-hmm. Cynthia just stated that it's not all of Florida that is that bad. And I agree, it's not all Florida, but it's not doing Florida any good favors about what's going on here.
Also, Jen, I'm not sure if she's filed bankruptcy under one of her aliases before. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, good Lord, can you imagine having to try to find that at the many names that someone used?
Bloody hell, mate. Has he got a bad chest again?
I just don't think he's got over it yet. We go back to the doctor next month, so hopefully we'll find something out.
Yeah. Because that's deep. That was a wet cough, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And he's bad with allergies too. They've been real bad this year so far. I mean, they've been terrible here. Terrible.
Well, very quickly, if no one else has got any more questions, then what we're going to do, we're going to go. I mean, it was just we're going to go to final thought, and I'll let ladies first. So, my pretty, it was a surprise that you come on tonight. You know, so yeah, go ahead and do the final thought. Obviously, don't forget Mondays, my pretty and myself, and then Wednesdays it's Squid and myself. Rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
You lucky dog. That's a thorn between two roses right there.
Yep.
I was just going to say, don't forget July 14th is our next thing that we're looking for. That's the next step in this process. I've looked in Levy County and don't see anything in Levy County yet about the bankruptcy and the stay on those two court cases. So I'm not sure yet about those. A lot of stuff that goes on right now in the Levy County courts with the trespass and the thumbnail cases, it's not always put on the docket because it's just where they're talking back and forth to judges' chambers. And so sometimes that doesn't always make it onto the docket, I've noticed. And so as soon as we get something with that, I'll be posting it to let you know what's happening in those cases. But July 14th is our next date, folks. We'll keep our eyes open for what comes next.
Yep. And I'm going to do my usual thing.
I'm going to jump off of here and let you go do your thing then.
Okay. Thank you very much for jumping on.
Oh, thanks for having me back. All right, y'all. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care, sweetheart.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Yeet. Hang on. So, yeah, I don't know why they don't use social security numbers as ID to limit for, well, you'd think that certain governmental bodies would actually do their background checks or any type of checks as is. But obviously they don't. If she can, I mean, like I said last time, how many driving licenses has she got in different names? How many documents has she got in different names? I mean, all these questions should be asked, and it's not my place to do the research unless someone pays me a lot of money, and then I will go to a office of which gives me good connection, and then I will do the research. But I mean, how much research do you have to do just to prove that someone is lying and someone has been playing this game for? I mean, if all you have to do is go to the registry, the registry list, and you'll find her registered there in 2013. So here comes the question: if she was registered in Otter Creek, two questions: did she live there? Think about it. Did she? Or was there something else? Or did she register down there for a reason? Because I find it very strange. When I actually first saw that, I was like, huh. But at the end of the day, it's not just up to me. It's everyone should look at step out of the box and look at this from a different angle. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night or day, whatever. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's stream. Just brainstorming and just talking, chit-chatting. And just remember one thing: keep an eye on this, because you will see discrepancies. You will see things that. Wait a minute, what's this? Get a bit of good news yesterday, Spawn. Oncologist said that after first chemo session, wife was showing a great improvement. Only white cell count needs to. Oh, that's bloody good news. Roy, keep us updated, dude. Don't you forget, keep us updated. That is really good news. Really good news. Really, really good news. But anyway, to those sitting outside lurking and, looking for excuses to go flapping your gums again, just remember, think about it. Instead of trying to troll or trying to be an arsehole, try to think. Just use your brain for once. And thanks very much for being great fans. Appreciate that. And thanks very much for the views and the hours. And remember that regardless if you don't like some of the people, they're still human beings. There may be liars, but they're human beings. Okay. And look forward to hopefully this weekend I can get get some more videos done, so I'll be posting them as well. And then hopefully, and then on Monday we've got My Pretty Myself again, with a couple of film reviews and some other stuff. And then on Wednesday it's back down in that bloody big rabbit hole of aviation in the United States and where all the money's gone. Yeah. And then at the same time, thinking about the fact that this has been going on for 2014 and before that. So if they've been doing budgets and stuff like that since 2014, why hasn't anything been upgraded or built? So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bid you adieu. And I hope you have a nice evening. And remember, a positive thought. All right? Always have a positive thought. No one's going to take my Dr. Pepper. And Roy, that is fantastic news, mate. That's a very good news. Okay, so positive thoughts, right? And thoughts and prayers to you and your wife, Roy. Okay, and we will continue to do that until we 100% everything's fine. Okay. But thanks very much for the update, Roy, and keep it coming, yeah? Right, SMN, Cynthia, Lisa, and everyone else, Gail, all have a good night, and I'll be seeing you on the flip side. Yeet.
They go live every night selling drama on demand with crampons sitting on their ass and dicky on hand. Fake tears falling, oh I'm just speaking truth, while they pocket super chats and exploit the loons. Gator rolls in trying to act real cool, but he's stirring up heat, breaking all the rules. Haters in a circle, all bark, no bite, till Spawn Trooper drops and it flips on the light. Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he says the situation at hand. Spawn Trooper, is weak with this one. Deuces in the mix, spinning lies for the stream. He acts like a king, but his throne's just a meme. Dodging all the questions with a scripted phrase, trying to fool the crowd, but he's just a face. Bones Lacker's got a seat at the front of the show, putting up a front, but got nowhere to go. Guano's hiding in shadows, throwing shade in the chat. They all act tough, but Spawn Trooper's on that. Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he says the situation at hand. Weak with this one. Now the people rise, no longer blind. The lies unravel one stream at a time. Truth's not merch, it don't come in packs. And Spawn Troopers got receipts, not just attacks. He says turn off the feed, walk into the sun. This war for your mind, it's already begun. With clarity blazing like a saber so bright, he leads the way through the digital night. Spawn Troopers say, I see you playing, keeping up the show, spinning your stories, but the truth starts to flow. Your gators pull high like you're some kind of lord, but all you're doing is striking out with the faulty sword. You're no warrior, just a puppet on strings. Your fake crown don't mean a thing. The game's up now, you're out of move. Spawn troopers here to expose your Spawn trooper. He bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn trooper. He assesses the situation at hand. Spawn trooper. Then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Spawn trooper. The force is weak with this one.
Truth will rise in the end, no place for deceit.
May grim unwind, get a whole group on. The force is weak with this whole bunch.